So this is recording 754-754. You can find me at ChristinaStation918.com. You can type in Listen Next on Twitter, which is X. It's called X now. My ID on there is Christina MS918. Or you can find me on YouTube. You can type Listen Next on YouTube. Put quotes around it, or put my name in Christina Station 918. Or of course you can find me on Podbean and also Spotify. And on Spotify, I'm Scorpio71. Okay, so recording time. Okay, so something else I want to talk to you about. So I don't remember if I told you this before in a previous podcast of mine or not. I can't remember. But let me just go over with you what I know, conversations that occurred in my brain, and the brain visuals I had, and then also what I find out this is connecting to. So, okay, we're going to talk about sacrifices again. So, when I lived in Oklahoma City, I was being told, like, sporadically and frequently, that different people around Oklahoma were being killed. Okay, Jean was killing them. And remember I told you Jean came on and she goes, and she was talking all like sing-songy and all freaking happy. But it was Jean. Jean is syrup cutie fartsy. She was probably trying to pretend to be the Joint Chiefs of Staff, as she was probably pretending to be when she was doing that. But besides her obvious joy, like her true joy. But anyway, she came on. Remember I told you she came on in my brain, and this is another in Oklahoma City. And she goes, and I had connection at that time. This is before she did that mass takeover and cut everybody off and did what she wanted to freaking do. So I had like rappers on, I had gangsters on, I had people, a Bajo on, which would be like witches, just it would be different politicians that came on, people out in the field and went out in the field in the CIA, and some of them are underground, and some of them are in locations where communication was cut off from them. Okay, so it's all about trying to get connection into the White House, let the White House know what's going on. So, and sometimes military. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of people on, and world leaders are on, and Chinese Mafia came on a couple of times, Yakuza was on, like there's a lot of people on. So anyway, Jean goes, she makes these stupid announcements. Like this morning when I'm walking into work, and I had a Mean Bean Monster cold coffee drink I bought at the gas station. And I'm walking to work, and I can hear her in my brain, and she's shouting to people in the atmosphere, whoever she's talking to, whoever she's at in her air mic, and she's going, and look at her coffee. Like, she makes these stupid ass fucking announcements. She's also the one that makes the terror threats that you can see on my website. Okay. And she made another terror threat last night. So anyway, she makes these stupid announcements. She's stupid if you could hear her. But I mean, you could talk to her in person and you'll hear it. But her and her people they're all the same way. But anyway, so she goes, why are we not, or why, stop. We already know what's going on. They're like, this sounds crazy because why aren't they just freaking arresting her? Well, ask the question twofold. Why am I not witness protection? And why is she not being arrested? And why is the world, along with the United States who knows what's going on, witnessing Jean jollying about, getting her jolly, spreading her lies, and committing terrorism, and nobody doing anything about it? People that grew this nation, that built this nation, everybody that built this nation and served in this nation, building this nation and serving in this nation. What I mean by serving is in the aspect of, like, you've got generations, family generations of being in the military, police, or fires, in the public service sector, civil right, like, and you know what I'm saying, in the public service sector. Okay, serving. Okay, people that built this nation love this nation. So is it logical to think that they would all just seemingly freaking disappear and let stolen valor, Navy gal, pretend to be everybody that she's not when she can't even not lie to the Navy? She lied about her entry and just turn it over to a white person? So, I mean, does that sound logical to you? No. Did anybody make an agreement with her? No. She tried to force her agreements on people, but do you think people would really agree to that? Did the United States just flip and just decide to worship some psychopath, child pimping, baby broking, freaking terrorist, freaking occult leader and forget everything that everybody's built her work for? No. Obviously, you can tell she's a terrorist and there are some serious threats going on and there's a lot of moving parts where the United States can't just jump in and do what they want to do. Not yet. And I'm running out of patience with it. But I'm sure the United States government is running out of patience with it. I mean, I'm sure everybody's running out of patience with it. So, okay, so anyway, so she comes on in my brain and she goes, she's talking to people in my brain and she goes, I want to kill Christina. I know I have to. And she phrases it as in, I know I have to. She like literally said it like that. She goes, I know I have to. But everybody just loves her. I don't know how I'm going to get it accomplished. And she was all like freaking juiced and excited about it. And people were signaling to her, which are some of the people that are connected to me today that agree to run this stint with her, were like telling her they'll turn it around for her so she can continue to try to kill me, sacrifice me, or whatever. She was just like all fucking happy. Sorry, she's putting curse words in my mouth. I have to kill Christina. I know I gotta kill her. But again, that's Jean. No, she really wants to kill me. She wants me deader than dead. But again, I love how she ice rapes Jeeps, people that drive Jeeps, and then throws voices to the Jeeps. And then she talks to me and she goes, you're all right with me. And I'm like, are you fucking stupid, bitch? I don't want to hear one freaking syllable, one piece of nothing out of your fucking mouth, number one. And I'm fucking gunning for you. I'm turning you in over and over until you're fucking arrested. You're fucking arrogant, cocky, Ku Klux Klan fucking ass. Like, she's that fucking stupid. Anyway, so so they sacrifices. So I'm being told by her repeatedly and sporadically when I'm in Oklahoma City that this person is dying, these people are dying, and she's telling me about people all over the state of Oklahoma that she's killing. And then I'm being given visuals, and I don't really know how to explain the visuals, but like not like not like I'm seeing, like I told you, like I can see, like in my brain, like I can see images, I can see video, like I can literally like see. This is more like of like cloud brain visual, as if somebody's like, you know how like the Wicked Witch is like looking in her crystal ball, and the crystal ball is like all like smoky, and then an image like manifests, and it's not like an actual image. It's like it's supposed to be like a not like a dream, but like like a vision. That's what it is. So like I can see in my brain, but like what she puts in my brain is like a vision. So it's not like the actual thing, but she's showing me this manifestation, this vision. Okay. And then later on, I see real things. So she's showing me, she puts in my brain, and she's like showing me that people are going to die, and she's going to isolate them until they're dead. And then she tells me that there are people that she has trapped in their homes, and this is in Oklahoma, all over the state. There are people that she has trapped in their homes, and some are apartments and some are houses. And I'm going, how are they paying their house payment, or how are they paying their rent? I'm like, that's in my brain. I'm like, but somehow she's got them like isolated where they're homebound and they can't leave. And she's like slowly like poisoning them and killing them. And I know all the different ways she does it. She freaking drops shit from the sky. She breathes up snake fumes from underground. So, I mean, I know how she does it because she poisoned the shit out of Oklahoma City. She poisoned the whole planet. But I already went through all her AI bioterrorism poison. But, like, she poisoned, remember I told you she poisoned Oklahoma City hardcore. And she wanted my whole neighborhood block to die. She said she was giving command orders to her people, and she was telling them they had no choice. They were, like, quiet and just listening. And she goes, everybody on this block has to die, is what she said. The whole city block. So, anyway, so these sacrifices, so they're literally homebound until they die, basically. And then later on, I see images of people in their apartment. Sometimes she put people in my apartment. She would show my apartment as a vision, and then she would show people in my apartment. Like, she showed a woman in my apartment whose leg was bit off by a snake, and she was laying on the floor, bleeding to death in my dining room. But they said this was really happening somewhere else, and I could see her laying on my dining room floor when it was my son's apartment. She was missing a leg. It literally got bitten off by a snake. And she was bleeding to death, and I was frantic. I was like, call someone, and they're like, nobody's gonna arrive. She's just gonna die. And I'm like, oh my God. Then they show someone, this like real skinny dude, and he's sitting on his couch, and the only way to make his money is to do, I guess, Gene's orders. And he looked like he was probably like in his 30s, maybe. Gene's overlaying it, saying it's one of her nasty little freak fucking show fucking friends. But people that are trapped into like doing her orders for survival. So he could have been underground. He could have been above ground. I don't know where his place was. But he was sitting on his couch and he had his shirt off and he was bone freaking thin. And I'm like, everybody was like, where's your shirt? What are you doing? And he goes, this is the way she's ordering us. We have to be shirtless. Now, Jean has a shirtless fetish. She likes boys and guys shirtless. She's got a whole shirtless fetish. And remember what else I told you about she does with men's chest. She's got a sexual fetish for that. So I'm like, oh my God. So he was starving and I don't know what he was doing. Like he was just like freaking shirtless. He could have been naked and all I could see was like his chest. And he had a laptop in front of them. And he was saying, this is what she's ordering us to do. And he was like a younger guy, but he wasn't like too old. Like he was old, but not like old. Not like I'm 55. He's way younger than me. And everybody's like, what is going on? So I've had people tell me underground, she forces them to do the same thing. They have to take her orders. And the only way they can get money is to lie for her and cover her for molesting and racketing freaking children for 60 years and do her little freaking lie con. And that's how they get freaking money. Remember I told you they were shaking like change at me? Like they were making change. They weren't even making dollars. They were making change. They had a laundry basket and they were just making change. Like they just didn't make anything. And then remember when she told me she was building a bank underground and I freaking flipped out. I'm like, what do you mean you're building a bank underground? I'm like, you have people literally freaking trapped under freaking ground and you're building a effing bank? Oh, Lord, I got so freaking pissed off. Anyway, so this guy was starving. Then there was something else. There was a governor that she was assaulting, and this is in the same time span, and he was in the hospital. He was hospitalized, and she was assaulting him, and she kept like you've got the previous podcast, but she was assaulting the governor, and he was literally a former governor, and she was assaulting him, and I don't know if he was in a coma. I don't know if he was asleep. I don't know. But she was literally assaulting him. She bragged about assaulting him to me. But anyway, so then the conversation happened where she said 30 people were going to be killed in Oklahoma City. And she chose the houses and the apartments in Oklahoma City. She also said that she bought an apartment. She buys property near me so she can stalk me. And then she moves her nasty little pieces of shit fucking Charles Manson asses into the apartments or houses, and then they go or do her dirty shit for her. And then she recently, this past year, she told me the Beatles are paying for it. Remember that? And the Beatles were like, no, we're not paying for people to live there to go run around running a child trafficking, child rape ring. We're not doing that. And then someone said, no, let's be honest here. Basically, they're like, no, because we have finance people. So they're like, they themselves are not doing that. But if she went and suckered their finance people and something looked like it's from them and it's not from them, they said, no, they're not buying anyone's apartments or houses. Jean's full of shit. So anyway, so she got an apartment and she said she owned Michael's first apartment complex. She said she owned it. And then In Michael's second apartment complex, she rented an apartment in the same apartment complex, but it was downstairs and it was completely empty. So she like, and I have apartments like right next to me. But I mean, this is a whole neighborhood. I live between 71st and 81st on Sheridan in Tulsa. So anyway, like, so she stalked wherever I go. She just stalks the ever living freaking shit out of me. She follows me around. So anyway, so she says 30 people have to die. And she actually had, this is going to be crazy explaining all this. So she said, she didn't say they have to die. She said she was killing 30 people in Oklahoma City. She's got them already picked out. She's murdering them. And there were addresses of some of these houses. I think some of these houses people were also trapped in. And there were addresses of these houses. And then someone came on that I knew in Louisiana, and they said, give us the addresses, we'll get it to the police. And then she came on acting like them again. It was like different people that I know talking back and forth to each other. Then she came on again, hearing that. And then she acted like she was the police. And then she conned the person who worked to get the addresses to be able to try to get it to actual law enforcement. She's like, okay, I'm the police. You can give it to me. And the way the addresses were passed was the person sent an email, and she had, there's email, I think I already talked to you about this. There's email and some artificial intelligence, there's email capability in your brain and mental telepathy. Like you can literally open screens in your brain. Like I could, like, remember I told you how like Bill Gates built macros for me and I could spell a word out, the same word out like 3 times. And then it would make people ping on and off. And remember when I used to say on and off, like I would say the person's like AI name and I would go on and then off, and they would ping on and ping off, or I would go off all, or I would block all and mute all, and then what was the other one? Remember that? Okay, so you can do that and have email capability in your brain. So you literally can pull up email in your brain. You can literally send email in your brain. Like you can type it in your brain and you can click send and you can really transmit an email from your brain. But anyway, these people sent an actual email and she received the email in her brain. Now this time she was hiding in Weatherford underground and she received the email in her brain. She was saying, that's just now connecting with me. Like, I can't believe this. I should have freaking cussed her freaking ass out. I did like a week or 2 later when I realized it was her. Because I'm like, what happened? Like, nothing happened. Because it was freaking Jean. So basically, she's like, I'm a cop. Give me the addresses. And so then she's like, okay, I got them. And nothing happened. And I've always wondered... And she did kill, there were people that she killed in Oklahoma City. I turned her in for a shooting. She shot someone, while I was in Oklahoma City, she shot someone in California. She shot someone in Oklahoma City. She shot 2 people in Oklahoma City. And I decoded it and turned her in. The shooting in Southern California, I could hear the whole thing happening. And then when I decoded the other shootings that she did in Oklahoma City, she said she loves to do as above, so below. I'm going to do this little thing here and I'm going to do this big thing over here. She likes to like ping pong, like connect things like that. She's Betsy Ross XL. It's one of her aliases. I'm going to do this here, and I love this ripple effect. I'll make it look like it's a ripple effect, and then I'll commit this crime over here and do this here too. So a lot of things, she'll do nasty shit here in Oklahoma, and next thing you know, I see a terror attack that's related to the nasty thing she did here in Oklahoma. Sometimes it's some nasty freaking cunt stunt she pulled. Sometimes it's another crime she committed. And she links the crimes together like that. So the shooting that she did in Southern California, which I could hear happening, I was freaking the hell out because I know who was shot, and I was literally freaking the hell out. And the shooting that she did in Oklahoma City, I was also freaking out about, but I was able to decode the one of them in Oklahoma City. I was able to decode it. When I decoded, I saw where it connected to her doing the shooting in Southern California. And what basically was happening with the shooting in Southern California is people were trying to get to intelligence and get to authorities. Everybody that was on in my brain made a pact we're going to turn Jean in. Jean, no, I'm not talking about you and your goddamn dumbass motherfucker that you pretend's a Christian who's a fucking Satanist that you kidnap my family members with. She's overlaying her nasty little... Ugh, god dang, that man is fucking disgusting. That's her little fucking buddy. Anyway, so there's a Bajos in California. So they're everybody made a pact. People made pacts here in Oklahoma, here in Tulsa and Oklahoma City, and then California people that were connected in Texas. We're going to figure out a way to make reports against Jean. So they were scared to death to leave, but they were trying to escape. And I told you, if you try to leave an underground hideout, an underground Bajo, and you're not under her order, and you try to leave, she will kill you. And if you're celebrities, even if you're a celebrity, I've been talked to by celebrities, there are some celebrities that have party hideouts or hangouts or whatever underground. And they know what's going on, but they can't say anything or they can't do anything. Everybody gets shut down every freaking time. But they said even if they have people that they know that are stuck there in their area, if they try to leave, they'd go after. Because I'm telling celebrities, can't you freaking go do something or just say something? Some of these celebrities I know pretty well. And I'm can't you just go freaking do something or say something? And they're there's nowhere. They're trying to explain to me the celebrity world. And they're there's nowhere I can go in life without being followed by 50 other people. I can't do anything. Ever. And I'm good God. And they're no, it is like that, Christina. There's no freaking every part of your life. I mean, from waking up in the morning to going to sleep at night, every part of your life is tightly controlled when you're a celebrity. There is no freaking way. I can't just get up and go, I'm going to go I can't do that. Because I'm going, oh my God. So I'm okay, reality check. Okay. So they can't do that. So anyway, so this was in Southern California. So they're I'm going to make reports. And they're I'm going to try to leave. And so it was two guys, and then they tried to escape in a Bajo, and they tried to leave, and they were on the street, and I'm where'd they go? Their connection went off. They muted. And I'm in my brain, I'm listen, they muted. Where are they? And everybody's where are you? Are you out there? They're trying to ping them. Anyway, next thing I know, it's happening in my brain live. I can't see, but I can hear everything going on. Next thing I know, a car pulls up and shoots one of them in the ankle. And then they take off with both the guys. And I've never heard from either one of them ever since. I was oh my God. So anyway, so it's it's a very scary situation. If you don't do what she says, she will kill you. So it's all about I have to be able to push and shove through making sure I get reports into Washington, D.C. and get my evidence into Washington, D.C. so the United States government, the true United States government, can figure out the landscape above the surface, below the surface, can figure out everything everywhere. And meanwhile, Gene is like, nothing to see here, folks. We're just running fucking stunts, just the publicity, so we don't know what anybody's talking about. Let's just do the business as usual, eyes, okay? Nothing freaking see her. She's literally holding people hostage. So anyway, so she got a hold of these addresses. So these people in these houses that were in Oklahoma City, she could have killed them by now. I don't know who they are. I don't know where they are, but she had that list of addresses. And so I know, I'm just saying I don't know if they're alive or not. I don't know. I know she likes to kill people. So then she said that she was killing 300 people in the state of Oklahoma, scattered all throughout the state, that she planned to sacrifice 300 people in Oklahoma. And I'm like, why are you sacrificing 300 people in Oklahoma? And I'm like going through like all of my ciphers that I decoded, because I know future terrorism that she has planned. Is she killing people as sacrificial, killing people as sacrifices to this big terror event that she's going to do? Like, what is she doing? So that could still be the case today. I don't know who these 300 people are or where they are throughout the state, but I doubt that's changed. I bet she's got a list of 30, and I bet you she's got a list of 300. So anyway, remember when I told you, this freaked me out. So remember when I told you Trump actually leaked this to me in the most bizarrest way that nobody would ever believe, because it just looks and sounds like spam, but it was like, hey, you need to know this, Christina. You're not lying. This is insane. So pay attention to what I'm telling you, and then go do the research, and you'll figure the rest out, and you're going to freak out. So anyway, so remember when I told you she's got people held, her Manson occult is huge. And I told you her Manson occult takes up a large part of the people that she's holding hostage or holding underground or trapped underground. And remember I told you there's, in the United States, there's 150 million, okay? So a large part of that is her Manson occult, and I know it's 400 million around the world, okay? So in the Holy Bible, it says, who are the 144,000. So you take your 144,000 and do the math with 150 million. What does that tell you? According to the conversations, or remember my conversation yesterday, which I'm not going to let this happen. I will keep making reports, and it's all lining up. So I don't know if it's all lining up. It's hard to not see that this lines up. But anyway, so 144,000 chosen by God to spread his word during the end times. That's in Revelations. 144,000. So me knowing that there is 120 to 150 million underground, and then there is 144, there's scripture about 144,000 in Revelations. Okay, so number one, that's no coincidence. Her forming and converging the cults in the United States. That's no coincidence. So 144,000 is a lot less than 150 million. So that tells you that there's probably going to be a lot of death. Now, which I know a lot of you guys already know this, because the NWO Illuminati planned for everyone, and that's on the Georgia Guidestones in Georgia. Okay, remember all the arguments and everybody arguing back and forth, and no, Gene said this, no, Gene said that, no, Gene said, when I was in Oklahoma City. So anyway, the Georgia Guidestones, the NWO Illuminati, says that everybody in the planet's going to perish except for 50,000 people. Okay, so the arguments back and forth with the people that I had in Oklahoma City, there was major freaking arguing back and forth, and people, insiders that thought they knew everything, that realized they didn't know anything, and they were being lied to, were like freaking out and getting very, very angry. But anyway, and they don't want any of this to be happening, but it's one thing to know that this is being placed on you and you have no choice, and you deal with that pain, and you literally have no other choice, and you deal with that pain, and then you find out that what you know isn't true either, and the numbers are a lot lower, then you're freaking out all over again. You just want to kill everybody. So that's where a lot of people are at. Like, people are angry. So anyway, they came on and they said, no, it's not 50,000. It's less than 50,000. It's 40,000. And then some of her people came on, her Cherish Precious at the top, and they said, no, it's 30,000. She promised that 30,000 of us would survive. If we do everything that she says, 30,000 of us will survive. Everyone else will die. And that's the honest answer. And I'm like, it's not going to be 30,000. A lot more people are going to die. More than 30,000. It's ending the world's population. It's killing 8 billion people, and literally only this many people left. And then the world starts over with this many people. Okay, and so they think they're the cherished. Like, they think it's 30,000, and they think it's just them. And then the numbers even went lower than that. And because someone said, the numbers are, they didn't say, I think, they said the numbers were even lower than that, like around 20,000. And I said, the numbers are a lot lower than that. And you heard my previous podcast, and I know people don't want to believe it, but that's Gene's true plans. So this whole freaking con she's running, where she wants to, like, mark people as what she is and pretend that she's not that, and then kill them as a part of her process and pathway in getting that done. But really, she's not doing that, because if she was doing that, she'd be killing herself. That's just a lie and a way to get funded by the filthy people that are having her kill people. It's just a lie. She has literal humanity, like 8 billion people, 8 billion deaths planned. Now, some of this could have changed. I've been making podcasts for the past 3 years, but she's still not arrested. She's still seeming to get away with everything. There are still people trapped underground. Donald Trump has even shown me people himself underground. Himself, he's been able to see underground himself, and he's even shown me. And it's kind of the same as what I saw when I saw Native Americans, but I saw Druids, and it was precious. It was so precious. I swear to God, he freaking loves them. And Gene stalking the shit out of him, he will kill Gene. I mean, over Druids alone. Today, I was laughing so hard. Oh my God, it was last night. No, it was last night before I fell asleep. Oh my God, I was laughing so hard. They were playing Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston's "And I Will Always Love You," and she's singing, and they're saying that that's Trump singing about the Druids, and it's freaking hilarious. People in my brain, I was like, oh my god, I was like dying freaking laughing. But that's really how it is. Like, he's like, as soon as he found out, him and his son found out they're literally true to God Druids, they're like, oh my god. And it's like, but now Jean is like, because like, she thinks they're her flock, they're her people, and they're not. They cannot stand Jean. And so you're like Trump is messing with like Mother Goose, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's getting pissed. Her and her cult are getting pissed. That's why they keep like acting like they're Donald Trump's like best friend, and they're just out, and they're out like lying to people in the public, and then let's just make it look like it's the military. No, those are terrorists. Let's go rattle their feathers. No, she's trying to send signals to them. I own you, you're mine, is what she's trying to do, because they can see through people's eyes. Not all of them can, but I mean, I don't know who can or who can't. I know people can see through my eyes. So anyway, she's sending signals to them is what she's doing. And so it pisses me off, and it pisses a lot of people off. Like, somebody needs to just fucking arrest the Navy captain. Like, she's literally like, no, Jean. But anyways, like, Trump is like, the actual Donald Trump and his son Barron, it's freaking hilarious. They freaking, Snoop Dogg freaking love, and you know Snoop Dogg loves them. As soon as he found out about everyone at Baldwin, that's when I was living in Oklahoma City. Oh my god. All rappers, everyone, they're like, oh my god. So, but it was so freaking cute. They were playing Whitney Houston, I'll Always Love You, and I was like, oh my god, that's gonna make them laugh so freaking hard. But anyway, so he showed me in my brain one night. I was real upset, and he showed me in my brain, he goes, Christine, I know you want Jean arrested. There's so much to this. And he's like telling me what I already know, but he's reminding me of what I already know. Like, have patience. Jean is not going to get away with this. She's not going to get away with it. So he's showing me Druids, like tons and tons and tons of them. And he puts himself in the middle of him, and he's like, look. And I'm like, see this in my brain, and I'm like, oh my god. Right now she's doing an overlay trying to pretend to be me. But I'm like, oh my god, like, my heart is like breaking. Like, I just want to reach out, and I just want to hug them all. And so I know they're so glad and so happy that they're heard, and people know they're there, and people know that Native Americans are there. There's all kinds of people underground. Now, Jean and her cult will cover it up and do their regular shtick as usual. And anybody that feeds in it, somebody like threw a spoon without throwing a spoon today. Jean was trying to run her usual little freaking stunt. Her little lies to cover it up, because this is her kingdom, these are her people. So she's going to cover it up. It's like she's covering it up with poop. You know what I mean? Like, she tells lies, and it's like, that's exactly what she's freaking doing. That's exactly what her and her cult are doing. They're full of freaking crap. Like, Jean and her cult need to be arrested. So anyway, people realize it, and they're just like, and see, now she's doing an overlay, and now I'm like waving my arm, wave her overlay away. Like, I'm sick of her and her sicko people. So anyway, so the 300, so it goes down a lot lower. So we're talking about the annihilation of humanity. Now, I've been making aggressive reports for a long time. So, because I'm like, no way in hell. No country is going to be, this is not going to happen. I will make reports and keep making reports until Jean is arrested, until the whole world knows what's going on, until every world leader knows what's going on. And then they can act accordingly, how they're going to act and know that Gene has been secretly like doing this behind their backs and trying to control all nations and let them know just how big Charles Manson is. So Jean can't get away with her plot. Like, this is insane. You're not going to do that. So anyway, so the 144 compared to the 150 million, okay, that goes right in line with what I'm saying and what's up, what is already known that's out there. So I'm telling you, there's that many people under the surface of the earth in the United States of America. And I'm not talking about, well, I'm talking about in a Bajos, but people couldn't know. If it was bases, it would be a lot more than that. I only talk about like a Bajos. I'm not talking about like military bases or personal housing or bunkers or any of that. So anyway, so the 300 sacrifices, she wants to, now you have to note, Oklahoma is basically the center of the United States of America. So what you probably really want to find out, which I've already found out, and it's at the top of Oklahoma, just in Kansas, is the exact center of the United States of America. Because the center of anything is very, very important. So you look at Oklahoma, it is the center. And then she even did that when she did the Oklahoma City bombing. Because Oklahoma is the center of the United States and then World Trade Center. So, anyway, so, which tells you, and how many people died in the Oklahoma City bombing. She killed 300 and something people. And so, she wants to kill 300 more. So, that, another thing that, like, people are analyzing that, like, that means she's got a lot more terrorism planned, is what that means. So anyway, if you take 144,000 divided by 300, that comes out to, get this on the numbers, 00208. And no, you don't, Gene. 28 is my number. I call out my guardian angel number. No, that's my old email, ChristinaStation28. 00208 33333. That's the number. So anyway, so this continues going on. So I want to talk about Spartacus. Okay, so you know she did the World Trade Center attack, and she used Flashdance as a theme in doing the World Trade Center attack. Okay, so the movie Flashdance. So I was so, and I know she pre-planned. I know there's a future war plan that's Sparta-like. Okay, and it's all her Alice in Wonderland theme. And that's why I'm like, no, and that's why she's been busy trying to steal troops and forming her militias and all of that. So I'm like, no, Gene. And Gene, it's based on my life. It's based on my life, Alice in Wonderland. But it's actually goes, I'm born into this. But my life begins 1971. I'm Alice. And then Jean Roberts would be the Queen of Hearts. And, you know, if you look at Alice in Wonderland, the part where the Queen of Hearts, what is she dressed? She's dressed in red and black. And then all of her army are the cards. And then they're red and black. So red, black, and white is Illuminati. Okay. She uses it for all different other colors because she's putting poop on everything. Because she wants to continue to do what she wants to get away with doing. But what this means is, remember I told you she tries to control and manipulate and con Illuminati. This doesn't mean Illuminati's doing their thing and they're like, oh my God, let's just all, yeah, Gene Jernigan Roberts. No. They need to know that she's been trying to control and manipulate them with her Manson occult, trying to get her way and to do her thing. And so If there's going to be any warring or any sparring, it's not going to be Gene's effing way. Gene Jernigan, Robertson, or Manson occult does not call the freaking shots. So anyway, so Thermopylae, okay, so wait, so in Flashdance, I was like, oh my God, it's right there. So like I already know this about the future. She pre-planned this after she did the World Trade Center attack, which is why she iced some of those pilots to say they went to the Spartan School of Aeronautics, and they really didn't go to the Spartan School of Aeronautics. She was creating get out of jail free cards for herself there. She iced them. She thinks that's freaking funny. And then they've got the tables turned at her, and they say that back at her. We didn't go to the Spartan School of Aeronautics. Basically what they're saying is we didn't do the World Trade Center attack. You did. You iced all of them. And you were just having a freaking fun day. Every day you were messing with Taliban and Al-Qaeda, icing the freaking crap out of them. And you're the one that did the World Trade Center attack. You mess with people with ice, and now the whole world knows it. So anyway, so present day, like Spartan School of Aeronautics, I'm like, that's freaking cool, because I know there are undergrounds here in Tulsa. So every time I think of Spartan School, I love Sparta. I always have since college. I'm like, oh my God, learning about it in history. And I'm like, rah! So, learning about it, and then knowing, so like when I see like Spartan School of Aeronautics, I'm like, I think that is like, I'm just like, because I know I'm able to turn Gene in. If there's going to be anybody warring anybody, it's going to be on country leaders' terms. You know what I mean? And so I just like need to make sure that Gene gets turned in, and Gene doesn't get away with any of that. So anyway, on the guy's jacket, the lady in the star of Flashdance, her name was Alex. Okay, and CL code Alex. Okay, she used that as a theme. You can already see ALX. She did, and then also she did that too. You lived on, because she's trying to blame everything on Christina, me. She tries to blame everything. She makes up lies about me. You guys know what she freaking does. I've said it over and over and over and over again. Where she's just freaking lying and just using and controlling my life, and then making up lies about me as her freaking excuse to getting away to committing terrorism. But anyway, when I lived on base, when I lived with my dad in Chicago, we lived at Great Lakes Naval Base, okay? And our address was 1920 Lexington Avenue, and I decoded my address. Okay, so you're going to see a podcast on that. But they said also Lexington, Lex, L-E-X there, Alex there. So anyway, and then all the A, I see all podcasts. So anyway, so the guy, her boyfriend in the movie, Alex's boyfriend in the movie, the guy she had a crush on, and she was a welder, which I think is like really cool. But anyway, her boyfriend that was working on a construction site, okay, he had on a jacket, and on his jacket was a lambda, lambda, lambda sign, a freaking Sparta sign in the freaking movie. And I saved a screenshot of it, and I put it on my Pinterest, and I'm like, oh my God, there's signs of future terrorism. There's evidence that she did World Trade Center attack, number one. And number two, there's future signs of terrorism even more in the movie. Like, look at his freaking jacket. Like, I was like, oh my God. And then jacket, and then flak jacket, and then all that goes back all the way to the 1970s when I was little. So anyway, so I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, so you can tell Thermopylae itself, the Battle of Thermopylae is a part of this whole, because I told you she's been at this since the beginning of time. The Battle of Thermopylae is a continued part of this world Dominion plot that Jean was back in trying to control her predecessors way back then. So today I don't like get angry and grit my teeth like I'm going to kill you, Jean. I just turn Jean in. I love the Battle of Thermopylae. Like, I love Spartacus. I freaking love Spartacus. So anyway, and then also it has to go with because it's in Persia, this also has to do with, which Persia is modern day Iran, which all that would go into, which that would go into, the Persian Empire, that would go into the Ottoman Empire, and then how she tried to create her own Ottoman Empire here after she crashed the Ottoman Empire in the early 1900s and tried to create and probably pre-planned to build an Ottoman Empire here before her predecessors took America, is probably what she was planning to do. I bet you anything. I bet you her trying to create a new Ottoman Empire in Auckland underneath Phoenix and looking, I mean, I'm like, they're like looking at there are people talking through, like right now, talking about your trees in your backyard, blah, 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 trying to get you off topic. Like, like, they're wanting Christine to, like, talk about the whole United States and blah, blah, blah. So, Auckland, is underneath, is in Abajo. It's a major Abajo. It's underneath Phoenix, Arizona. It spans the valley. So, anyway, so you got the Ottoman Empire. So Jean Roberts and her Manson Nicole is underneath everything, making sure that over time, and thinking she's going to get away with it, because if you closely hide under your enemy or within your enemy, they're your cloak or they're your shield. They don't know they're your cloak or your shield because you don't know they're there. And then if you get caught, then you just blame them, and then you scatter, and some of your people may get caught and some not, and then you continue keep doing the same thing. So she's done this throughout time. It's what she does now. She'll blame everybody and everybody else. It is her and her Charles Manson occult. And I've seen her throughout all of time, throughout all of history, messing with everyone everywhere and hiding everywhere, all over the world, committing crime everywhere. So if you look at the Battle of Thermopylae, that was in 480 BC. So you can see, okay, so you got the 12 equals 0 there. But if you look at 480 BC and you look at 300 divided by 144,000, you can see in the result of the math, 208,33333, you can see the 480 in there. And I think 480, isn't that a new area code in Phoenix? Isn't that, because it used to be 602. And look, even that, the 208 and then the 602. And I think 480 is an Arizona area code. So in Persia gains control of Phocis, Phoicis, Boeotia, and Attica. And that freaked me out right there. And Attica, that goes to... Attica is a prison in New York. Okay, so she uses that modern day... So that tells you that she did that to George Lutz. She did that to George Lutz. And she killed his family, what the Amityville Horror was based around. It's more evidence for him and his family. He went to prison in Attica, in New York. So anyway, I know that instantly goes back to the 70s, because she used the Amityville Horror as a theme in my childhood, in my life, and stalking me. Like, my life is based around movies. Amityville Horror is one of the movies. I decoded so much out of it. So the 28 goes to Amityville Horror in the modern day, like in my childhood. So when I like grew up, like present day, like I'm 55 now, but like in the past 10 years, I go back looking through my life and I'm decoding everything, and I go through my whole life and I'm like, oh my God. And I can tell you nothing will stop me from turning in Gene Roberts. So anyway, it happened and they said also notice the P and the P and the B, the lead. So happened between July and September. So again, you're seeing the links of July and you're seeing the links of September. So man, I've got so many reports to make. So anyway, last night when I went to sleep, so I'm gonna move ahead and I'm gonna end this recording. Scott was on. I'm gonna probably make a recording, and I want to talk about seeing you in my brain, and then how she went freaking cuckoo. So, so I'll continue this tomorrow, but because it's already 11:30 at night. So anyway, last night before I went to sleep, as soon as I get done talking, she switches around everything I'm saying. She flips it around, and then inside my brain, she starts attacking me. Like she literally pretends that she's me and everything that I'm saying right now. And then in my brain, she starts attacking me and she starts attacking my body. And she starts lying to all of her people, pretending to be me. And she's like ordering her people to attack me. I mean, she's literally that deranged. And it's supposed to be designed to make me be like go crazy, like stop saying you're me. But I've got a podcast. So everybody that has access to the internet around the world has access to my podcast. So whoever she's lying to, or whoever she's trying to hustle, or whatever she's trying to do, are people that not only has she suckered into her cover-up con, where she spreads poop everywhere, her lies everywhere, and hopes people get stuck in her freaking poop, and just like so she can grow her everything even bigger and continue to get away with everything, and thinking she's going to get away with terrorism and trafficking, or she's communicating to people underground who are totally and solely dependent on everything from her and her occult, because she and her occult are like the masters, like they're the leaders of the occult. Like you do everything she says or else. So yeah, I'm done with the kitchen if you want to clean your thing out. Yep, I'll go in there. I'll go in there and get it clean. Thank you. So anyway, that was my roommate. I love her to death. I love her, love her, love her. Anyway, so she last night, so as soon as I stopped last night, I mean, we're recording up my podcast, so they're played outside. She like did her little manipulation, lying to people, and then she made a threat, and then she goes, Christina, we warned you. Christina, we warned you. And I'm like, would you just fucking shut up, you fucking moron twat? You're fucking turned in. Like, fucking shut up already. But anyway, so I'm sorry for the cursing, but it is sometimes like people, I think people take over your mouth. They do take over her mouth. They control my speech. But no, I'm saying like they're taking your consciousness away from you when you're talking. They take your consciousness as you're talking. They take it away from you, and they're literally speaking that, like the whole sentence. Or it's not just injecting the cursive. They're literally like speaking the sentence. They do it all the time. They control everybody's speech. I know, but I'm saying they're taking your consciousness away. So like what you just said right there, like you weren't even conscious at the end of that. Well, that's probably why she freaking did that, so she could do a clip and stitch and again try to take my podcast and claim I'm not conscious and she's talking through a dumb brain dead person, and which is she tries to feed that bullshit to people all the time. Gene Roberts does. For those of you guys that are on when this is over and you can hear everything uncensored, you are just gonna freaking lose your freaking mind. You're gonna be like, oh my God. Not at Christina. You're gonna fall in love with Christina. The actual freaking Christina. You're just gonna be like, oh my God, at the shit that Jean Roberts has tried to get away with, what she's said, what she's done, the crime she's committed. You're literally going to just be like, your jaws probably going to be on, their jaws will be on the floor. They're going to be beyond freaking mortified. They're going to be like, oh my God. But anyway, so, okay. So that's the end of this recording. So.